I've had a lot of new people find my channel and find out about Foxhole. I've had a few of them ask me if you were able to play Foxhole with a controller. I didn't know the answer to this question, so I decided to give it a try. Controllers are not officially integrated into the game, so we had to use a third-party program called Joy to key. Getting the right configuration took some time. There are so many keys used in Foxhole. I decided to focus on the basics of movement, aiming, and firing. I played for about 10 hours only using a controller. During the experiment, I wanted to try playing different roles to see if the controller was actually viable to use. I tested out Infantry, I tested out logistics, and I went through the UI of the game as well. Because of Foxhole's top-down nature, I assumed it would be a mess. It'll be like when I used to play Brood War on Nintendo 64. What a nightmare that was. I miss waking up early on Saturday mornings to play Brood War on PC or play some tower defense in Warcraft 3. Those were the true days of gaming. Anyways, let's get into this experiment and try a controller with Foxhole. Because I'm a Logi man, I decided to try my luck with doing Logi tasks first. Gathering seemed to be pretty easy with the controller. I just needed to make sure my cursor was on the correct spot and hold the trigger down. The tricky part after that was attempting to put the resources into the truck, as you can see. Maybe it's because of my own keybinds or not being used to it, but I struggled quite a bit, as you can tell. It even took me a while to get into my truck. Driving around felt really nice. This is something I could see doing with a controller if you have a long journey ahead of you. You could easily use a controller for doing train or freighter Logi as well. Overall, I would give my experience of doing Logi a 6 out of 10. Gathering resources and driving were both enjoyable and relaxing. Trying to put the resources away and anything with the UI was quite painful. I didn't spend the time testing it out, but I would imagine building would be quite painful as well. Now let's talk about Infantry with the controller. Of course, we had the same issue that we had with Logi. Navigating the UI and trying to pick out a weapon, ammo, and anything else was very painful. Because if you want to move the cursor around, you need to move it around with the analog stick. Again, similar to how Brood War was when you were playing on the Nintendo 64. Analog sticks were not made to move mouse cursors around. When you were looking the right way, movement felt great. Aiming felt fine as well. Unlike when you're doing the UI and moving your mouse cursor around the entire screen, when aiming it limits to where you can look. So this actually made aiming bearable. But as you can imagine, things did not go well for me on the front.
Increase distance to 80 and then continue firing.
Yeah, I thought about fucking doing.
I was not the most useful soldier on that battlefield. Overall, I would give my infantry experience with a controller a 3 out of 10. Moving around the battlefield felt fine, aiming felt fine, but actually trying to get a kill was extremely difficult. But I was determined to get at least one kill with a controller before I quit, which is why I ended up doing this for like 10 hours. Long-range rifles really weren't working for me. I decided that a fiddler in close combat would put an end to my suffering the quickest.
What kind of hacks do you have? Holy fuck, tell me so I can download your hacks, please.
Go get him. Round 2.
Holy shit, this guy has some sick hacks.
Watch out, my friend.
I did it. I got a kill with a controller. Side note, like driving with a Logi truck, driving a tank around with a controller was not so bad. If you get stuck driving a tank and want to sit back and relax while listening to driving orders, just plug in a controller and chill. It was definitely an experience playing Foxhole with a controller. I would not recommend that anyone play with one or really even waste your time trying to do it. If someone told me I had to play Foxhole for 100 hours with a controller, I would find a new game to play. I've seen people try crazier methods with Foxhole. Like this person said that they played 8 hours of Foxhole on their phone where all they did was gather. And this person that played on their Steam Deck and they also said that they only did Logi. I think we can all agree that anything combat related is close to impossible without a keyboard and mouse. Would you ever play Foxhole with a controller? Would you ever play Foxhole if it ever came out for consoles? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to subscribe for more Foxhole content. Again, I don't recommend playing Foxhole with a controller at all. Cheers.